Alright, now that we adjusted the overlay, we can go straight into our second game here in the third place decider at the Zode Cup monthly final. And we have Frost as the second map. Starting to the top right, we have Nerchio, who finds himself in a 1-0 lead in the best of 3 series against his Protoss opponent to the bottom left, cross-positioned here. It is StarDust for my insanity. And the one thing that really came, or was like the crucial part in game number 1 was really the scouting information that Nerchio had there. He knew everything that was going on. He saw that probe early on already, and he realized what was going on against his third base, that it was an attack planned by StarDust. And then two things happened. First of all, Nerchio didn't play too greedy before that. He didn't overdrone or anything like it. He just built his units immediately. He had a spine crawler in position. He had the extra queens. And at the same time, he had just a few Zerglings at the top left, busting through the wall of StarDust's base and natural, and then suddenly StarDust was so distracted that he didn't realize that at the bottom, where he tried to be aggressive, the Zerglings were just simply surrounding his Zealots, and then he couldn't micro anymore. The Zealots were surrounded, they were attacked by the Zerglings, the Queens were going in as well, and then StarDust lost his edge. Nerchio just tacking up pretty conservatively straight into his own Hydras, and that really broke StarDust's neck. He couldn't do anything again after that. He was trying to, on the other hand. I mean, he was trying to get his Immortals in there, and he was also using his force fields quite well, but if you are in such a bad position already, it was very, very difficult for him to just come back into the series, especially since he was in a spot where he couldn't start attacking. Nerchio was already too far ahead, so he had to make it work with only the robotics and his gateways, and that didn't plan out for him. So, Nerchio right now in a 1-0 lead in the series, and could take the third place here at the Zode Cup monthly final. StarDust might go for another all-in strategy. We're gonna find out. He's starting things off with a gateway first, again into, of course, Cybernetics core. And for Nerchio, we have his go-to build. Pool into hatch. Seems to be just what he's gonna do, depending, not even depending on what the map is, but just like saying, like, listen, this is my build, it's safe, it's solid, I like it. Every now and then I might throw in an aggressive build or a cheese against you, but 9 out of 10 games I'm gonna go for this build, and it just works for me. The scouting is going to make him pretty happy, because he's going to see that his opponent starts cross position. And of course, when we talk about this, we always talk about, like, yes, it's the distance where you have to really cross, where you have to walk across the map with your units, and it takes so long that an opponent will be able to react against what you do. Nice early third hatch once again by Nerchio. So one of the things that a few people that might not be as familiar with StarCraft will immediately say is like, yeah, but Protoss players can just simply warp in units, and they don't really have to walk across the map. That's definitely true, but the one thing that you have to consider if you think about warp gate units and forward pylons is that this means that you are limiting your entire attack to gateway units. Because if you try to go for an immortal push or for 2 colossi pushing out, then you always have units that still need to cross the map. So you are limiting your options if you really try to just make it work with the gateway units. And in this case, we have StarDust with the Stargate. I'm a little bit worried that actually the observers are causing a bit of lag here, because like we saw once again a massive spike just a few seconds ago where the screen just froze, and that seems to be like an issue with one of the observers. I mean, earlier on in game number 1, one of them already lagged, so I'm not quite sure how that's gonna work out. I hope that it's not gonna cause a problem. The scouting here didn't really tell Nerchio a lot, and he's preparing with 2 spine crawlers, and that lets him play very safe, but he doesn't have anything against the Oracle really. Besides the queens, of course. I mean, don't get me wrong, he has the queens here, but he has only 2 queens, and he's building another one as we speak. He doesn't have spore crawlers, and without scouting information, that might be an issue. Oh, but he gets the Zergling in. Zergling gets into the main base, and that means this Oracle is not gonna have a super easy time. Where's that Spore Crawler, by the way? Should be at the natural then? Yeah. One Spore Crawler at the natural, what's in the main base? There's another one, but the Oracle is already moving in. And one Oracle beats a Queen, I'm not quite sure what to tell you guys. So as long as this Queen... Where are the other Queens? There's one over there that doesn't help. I mean, what we saw there was like the typical cat fight that you have between women or girls. Like, probably one queen said something mean about the shoes of the other queen, and then when Queen A saw Queen B being attacked by the Oracle, she had a chance of walking over there and helping out, but she's like, no bitch, if you're going in and insulting my shoes, I'm not gonna help you out. You completely deserve that. And those are the cat fights. You have that every now and then, especially like when you have like queens. I mean, what are you gonna do? Guys will argue a lot and do whatever, but I don't know what to tell you. I mean, we've all been there. So right now we are having the Oracle just trying to find a spot where it can do some damage. I mean, the Queen snipe was really nice and that was great, but besides the Queen snipe, not a lot happened there. And at the bottom left we now have a follow-up with Phoenixes, but for Nerchio we have 3 bases, and Overlords of course will go down and will die here, especially, well, the Queen is actually playing a pretty dangerous game here, trying to take one of the Phoenixes down, or at least killing a few of the hit points away. But the problem really is for StarDust right now that, yes, sniping an Overlord every now and then is going to be fine, but at the same time a 3-base economy for a Zerg player is never something to joke with. So right now what he needs to do is to find something where he can really do some damage. And maybe with more Phoenixes that's exactly what he can do, because Nerchio only has 1 Spore Crawler per mineral line. A little bit surprised that he doesn't save that Overlord, by the way. Like, a few of those Overlords are in weird spots. Like, these 2 should immediately go over the Spore Crawler. That's something that he should do right away, because exposing them is not going to help him. And that's what he kind of does already a little bit. So Nerchio's economy is really good, but StarDust is starting to move out with this army, and for Nerchio, he's not there yet. Wow, that's a full wall if I've ever seen one. Like 2 additional gateways there to wall it off. That was pretty telling. Like, this is gonna be a pretty heavy commitment that he has there. So, well, let's see. We do not have a lot for Nerchio just yet. I mean, he doesn't have his Hydra Den completed. That might just hit before he can do anything. In the middle of the map, the Zerglings are trying to put those units up against the wall. The force fields were good enough to just save the sentries. The problem here for StarDust is that he currently doesn't have a lot of energy left. So it's all about the links and the engagement, slowing down what happens. But these Overlords have to go back to the Spore Crawlers, and that's what he does right now. Now the Hydras are being started, and the links might be in a position where they just bought enough time to really make this work. And it looks like that's the case. The Hydras are going to be out there, and StarDust is a little bit too all-inish with his 2-base timings there. They are not bad at all, but StarDust seems to have, Nerchio seems to have StarDust's number. And I don't know what to tell you guys, but this is nothing. This is absolutely nothing. Not against what Nerchio has. Yes, that's 30 army supply. That's 30 supply more, and in terms of army supply, StarDust is ahead. But boo-hoo, with all those, well, actually, with all those, I don't think he's gonna be able to go through that. That's way too many Hydras. Force fields are, of course, quite often a game changer, and with good force fields, you can really just minimize an army's strength. But that is still a lot of Lings and Hydras, and there are spores and spines too. I am not too sure if that's going to be a factor. Oh, nice force fields there. Suddenly Nerchio finds himself in an awkward position. But there we go. Spores are attacking. Spines at the front. Hydra's doing damage. The pickups are good. The force fields are not there anymore. Nerchio is moving in. Mothership Core already gone. More and more reinforcements moving in as well. Both of them still with really a similar supply, but it's just the Hydra DPS that StarDust can contest. And there's the GG and the good game. Well, that's it. Nerchio takes it with a quick 2-0 against StarDust and takes the 3rd place here at the Zodiac Cup Monthly Final. Nerchio just playing 2 very, very solid games against his opponent, not leaving anything up to chance, and that was well played. StarDust a bit too predictable with his 2-base timings here. Strong timings, yes, but still well played by Nerchio, and congratulations to securing himself this win.